The flag is in the air. Is it official?
It is official.
For the past 7 years, Ken Owen has worked hard on documenting all 114 Monon Bell games in the Monon Memories, a task he finished in early October.
We had all these materials sitting in the archive, many of which people really didn't know how to get at. The photos in boxes, photos in different files, films that hadn't been transferred. And I started thinking, wouldn't it be great if we could kind of bring this history back to life and put it in a form where people could sit down and remember. But I remember first coming back here and being overwhelmed by this stack of film and thinking, how am I going to find anything? It's all cataloged, but still. What we've really tried to do with this series is to focus on the things we share. I mean, DePauw and Wabash have a great history that goes back to 1890 that started with this football game.
He's done a great job of recapping what's one of the greatest rivalries in college athletics.
Well, it's been really important to us because now we have in one place the documentation of that rivalry from the beginning.
Small but full of treasures.
He's done a wonderful job putting together these Monon Memories and just adding to the history of this game, and just something that I'll definitely treasure and something I use, show my family and friends, and just a really neat thing that he's added to this rivalry.
He sees how emotional people are about the rivalry, and just wanted to find a way to capture that.
Well, he must have been pretty thorough because he's digging up things that I didn't even know existed.
These old programs are really amazing, I think. And here we have the 1933 Wabash and DePauw game. That would have been the second game in the Monon Bell series. God's honest truth, I didn't know this existed until right now. I didn't find this when I was digging around. It seemed sad to me that we had these cans of film sitting on a shelf. Some of these films have been sitting here for 40, 50, 60 years and have not been seen since they were first shot. But the 1940 game literally turned to like maple syrup. The film morphed into something that's unplayable now. Luckily, we'd gotten to that. We made a backup on tape, so we've got the footage still. Here's an example of a damaged film. You can see the outer ridge of this. That was the troubling thing. As you started to go through things, you saw that things were very delicate. And I'm glad that we have it done, because I'm not sure if 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we'd be able to do it in the same way. And it was tricky because the earliest game picture we have of DePauw and Wabash is 1906. The result, though, I think, is that some years we've got a story about football, but other years we're telling a story about the Depression or World War II. It interweaves, I think, things that were happening in the world with things that were happening on the two campuses. And for the guy who made the game-saving tackle in the 1963 game, you know, for him to see it, having never seen it, was pretty amazing.
For me, for so many years, the 1933 game would have been just a score. But now I see a photograph, and I see a little more of what was going on campus at that time, and it ties you in more with the real world, in addition to just what was a football game at that time.
I'm very proud of what he's done. I feel very fortunate that he's a DePauw guy and has put this together for so many people to enjoy.
The greatest thing is when somebody comes up to me on the street, somebody who played in the game, somebody who has a kid who's played in the game, and they say, God, I really love those Monon Memories. I hope that people, as they watch these, are remembering the times that they were at DePauw or Wabash, sitting in the stands, cheering on their team, and it connects them to the game as it's played today. As much as football has changed, it's the same game. And it's the same rivalry, which is what makes it so rich.
It's good, and that ends the game.